Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to BC Wrestle Pod. And welcome to the Progressives Review Show, your progress wrestling post show here on the internet. My name is Mikey, and I will be rocking this show solo tonight as I am here to cover chapter 194 Super Strong Style 16. The 2-day tournament is back and twice the fun, as not only will we have a men's tournament. This is the first ever women's Super Strong Style 16 tournament. So I have 2 days worth of stuff to talk about. So I'm going to just jump straight into this. If you are brand new, we go live pretty much every day of the week at this point. BC WrestlePod is our social media. Merch can be found at our shop, bcwrestlepodshop.fourthwall.com. And last but certainly not least, if you want to donate to help us to keep the lights on, Coffee Bot is where it's at, but don't feel pressured. We love you. Alrighty. I have 18 matches to talk about because this was a 2-day event, and I have lots of things to say. Um, I thoroughly enjoyed this event. I thought the wrestling was really good, but damn, Progress, you really need to fix your freaking audio and video issues. The production is always what's holding you guys back. And because you have your shows at the Electric Ballroom every single time, you guys need to fix it. And it's really hard for me to want people to continue to watch you because the production is so bad, especially here when we had video freezing during the show, which is absolutely crazy. But that's the only time I'm gonna bring it up. But in the this is the only time I'm gonna bring it up to this extent. But let's just get into it because I thought the wrestling, the action was phenomenal, and I'm very interested to see where we're going with our winners. But we'll get into that when we get to day two. But let's kick off things with day one. Again, I'm gonna speed round this. It's gonna be a short review because I'm tired. I just came off of another review, so let's get into it. So day one, match one, it was a quarterfinal match where we saw Mr. Jay Joshua taking on Simon Miller. So Jay Joshua is a current Rev Pro champion, and he is here for the Progress Super Strong Style 16 tournament. Um, so I was excited. Jay Joshua was really good. I like Jay Joshua, and he was being accompanied by Nico Angelo of Diamond Eyes. This was the show opener. Simon Miller is everyone's favorite. But yeah, like I said, this match was the show opener, and immediately the production fell apart. Picture froze for 5 minutes at the bell while commentary continued to talk, which was super frustrating. And production finally caught it about 5 minutes and 15 seconds into the match. When we got it back, it's Jay Joshua hits a flying headbutt with Simon Miller firing back with the spear for a near fall. We get a combination of a German suplex and a decapitating clothesline for a near fall. Simon Miller has Jay Joshua nearly beaten. Jay Joshua avoided the finishing lariat and locked in the Matacon, which is the real naked choke, making Simon Miller pass out. And the match is over via ref stoppage. So Jay Joshua moves on to the semifinals. Um, Honestly, this match definitely was designed to give Miller a strong send off, and he got applauded back in the locker room. And it's just frustrating because of the fact that the video froze for a good chunk of this match, and I don't understand why Progress is still having issues, but whatever. Alrighty, match two. We have our first women's quarterfinal match, which sees Stephanie Mays versus Rio. So Stephanie Mays is a WXW regular from Germany, and she is dressed like a shoot fighter. So she was wearing a plain black top and wearing cornrows. And Rio, of course, going into this tournament is the tournament favorite, and she is a current Progress Women's title contender with all the storyline momentum from her arc with Alexis Falcon. So this is the best friends turn bitter rivals, with Falcon being the current women's champion. And while video was working for this match, the sound kept dropping in and out. So production was still struggling during this point. But as far as the action goes, Rio hit a T-bone suplex, a drop kick, and a basement drop kick for two. Mace hits a basement drop kick to send Rio to the floor to regroup. Rio went after Maze's left leg with a dragon screw leg whip, kept it grounded. Maze suplexed. Maze also hit a stiff Claymore kick with a back suplex for a near fall. Maze even used her injured leg as offense, defiant despite the legwork. And Rio hit a power slam, a headbutt, a neck breaker over the knee, and then a package pile driver for the win. Rio moves on to the semifinals. Obviously, the result was predictable for this match, but honestly, I felt like May's impressed in defeat. Rio sells her left arm injury throughout the tournament, building injury accumulation that will pay off later in the brackets. Here is where we get the announcement that Chapter 195 will be Wonder Brawl 2, which is scheduled for June 7th at the O2 Ritz in Manchester, which then leads us into our third match, Charles Crowley versus Elijah Bloom. Um, Charles Crowley wins. This was a fun match. We had the balloon spot. This was fun. Charles Crowley wins with the springboard cutter. And honestly, I feel like this was the first true upset of the night. I was I wasn't expecting Charles Crowley to make it farther than the semifinals, but I'm glad he did. And he did beat um, Elijah Blum here. And I thought this was a fun match. I really did. Again, I'm going to go through this really quickly because this is a lot to talk about by myself. Match number 4, women's quarterfinal, LA Taylor versus Shotzi Blackheart. This was a lot of fun. This was really good. Shotzi wins via a top rope senton, advances to the semifinals. I thought this was a strong showing from LA Taylor. And honestly, I feel like she might be getting more progress dates based on this performance alone. Shotzi advances cleanly. And the only thing I have is I wish this match got more time because we only got 8 minutes and 53 seconds. Match number 5, men's quarterfinal match, Spike Trevay versus Peter Tiania. Tiania is another WXW guy, which I loved. Spike Trevay is obviously Progress as one as top talent. And this actually was probably my favorite match of the entire day one out in terms of like the tournament matches. I think this was my favorite tournament match. Um, Spike Gervais wins via a Tower of Silence and advances to the semifinals. Definitely, like I said, best match of day one's quarterfinals. This nonstop action. Tiani came out looking like a star in defeat with this one. And I honestly think that Spike might be coming after the men's championship down the road at some point. And it should be noted that at this point in the tournament, that all the WXW talent was officially eliminated in terms of the men's tournament. So that was crazy. We get our 30-minute interval, and then when we come back, we get into match 6, which is a women's quarterfinal match. This is Giselle Shaw versus Sky Smithson. So originally, this was supposed to be Giselle Shaw got a bye because the qualifier match was supposed to be Giselle Shaw versus Billy Starks, but that match did not end up happening. And so Giselle Shaw was going to face Sky Smithson. I have missed Giselle in Progress. She is a really fun heel. But I love Sky Smithson too. She's also wrestling over at Pro Wrestling Eve, which I love. This is a really fun match, but Giselle Shaw wins via a running knee. This match was shorter than I expected, but I'm glad that Shaw was established as the top heel, and it's gonna be great. She is definitely the one to beat in this tournament in terms of the heel side. Alrighty, we get a match. Well, we get an announcement that at Wonder Brawl 2, we are gonna get Mr. Bang Bang Sosa himself, Ricky Sosa, will be competing at Progress Chapter 195, Wonder Brawl 2. And the Young Guns will also defend their tag team championships at the same show. Backstage, Simon Miller and Car Noir had a face-to-face backstage. Miller said something, but again, the audio was inaudible due to production issues I couldn't understand. And Noir left without saying anything. Damn it, Progress. You gotta fix this production. Seriously. Alrighty. Match number 7, men's quarterfinal. Charlie Sterling taking on Leo Rush. I love the Blackheart character. I think it is fun stuff. This was really, really fun to watch. Charlie Sterling wins via a tainted feet on the ropes roll and advances to the semifinals. Um, Post match, Warren Banks, the commentator, threw water on Sterling from his bottle as Sterling was leaning. Payback for Sterling's cocky attitude. And yeah, this is going to be fun. So, Charlie Sterling moving on to the semifinals. Here we get chapter 197 entitled Ballroom Blitz, announced for August 31st at the Electric Ballroom. So, that's going to be fun. Alrighty, we got to keep this rolling. Match number 8, women's quarterfinal match: Kanji versus Holly Barlow. Originally, this was supposed to be Kanji versus Emerson Jane, but Jane pulled out injured. So Holly Barlow was elevated to the spot. This was cute. The crowd loves Holly, but let's be real. Kanji wins with the Kimura Hammerlock submission at 13:55. Honestly, this is Holly's best match in progress to date. Kanji definitely helped her at post match and raised her arm, mutual respect. And honestly, Kanji and Rio established themselves as the tournament MVPs for the women's on day 1. Alrighty, main event time of day 1. No DQ match for the Progress World Championship. Cara Noir challenging our champion man like Reese. My God, this was such a fun match. 31 minutes and 46 seconds. Cara Noir via a package pile driver onto chairs ends man like Derice's reign at 251 days. This was an iconic match. Definitely really good. This was crazy. Um, I'm excited to see where Cara Noir goes as champion, but I'm excited to see. I would not be surprised if we run back Spike Treve versus Cara Noir round 2. Alrighty. So here are my takeaways for day 1 before I get into day 2. Day 1 this year definitely was better than day 1's matches last year. There was better matchups, better time distribution. The women generally outperformed the men, which I love to see. The MVPs for me on day 1 were Rio and Kanji for the women's tournament. My highlights include the Spike Treve versus Peter Tiani match. Man like Derice versus Car Noir was also a highlight. It should also be noted again that all the WXW outsiders eliminated from the men's tournament, Joshua Blum and Tiani all out. Car Noir is back at the top of the progress 4 years after his last world title reign, and Derice's modified title belt rejected, symbolic of a new direction. Alrighty, here we go. Day 2, we had SoCal Val as our MC for this night, and sound issues were fixed, lighting still poor, and definitely day 2's production got a lot better. So here we go. Match number 1, day 2, women's semifinal match. Rio versus Shotzi Blackheart. My God, this is a fun one. Rio wins with the package pile driver at with the match clocking in at 15 minutes and 11 seconds. This was my second favorite match of day 2. There was some sharp action throughout. The crowd was hot for both Rio and Shotzi, and Rio sold the arm injury very well going into the finals. Match number 2, men's semifinal: Charles Crowley versus Jay Joshua. This one was another upset as Charles Crowley wins versus a reverse DDT slam, with the match clocking in at 9 minutes and 2 seconds. This was another upset. Charles Crowley had made it to the finals, but there was a post-match attack. Jay Joshua called Connor Mills and Nico Angelo back out. All three of them stomped Crowley. Crowley sold a possible ruptured eardrum in the aftermath. Joshua's "I'll do it clean" move was a mask. When he lost, his crew came right back to inflict damage. Crowley advances wounded to the final. Alrighty. Match number 3, women's semifinal: Giselle Shaw versus Kanji. Good God, this was crazy. So, Giselle Shaw wins with a bicycle knee with this match clocking in at 17 minutes and 50 seconds. This was such a flippin' good match. Oh my god, I really loved this one. And I think this was probably at the top for me. This was so good from both of them. On paper, this was a big upset. Kanji was the tournament to VMP through MVP through day one and lost cleanly. Shaw used the same finishers that she used on day one versus Sky Smithson, establishing it as her one-shot kill. Kanji exits the tournament to be reckoned with. She'll be back in the title picture before you know it, in my personal opinion. Alrighty, here we go. Next up, match number 4, men's semifinal, Charlie Sterling versus Spike Trevay. These two have beef going into this match. Bullet with the run-in massive choke slam on Spike Trevay, which allowed Charlie Sterling to hit a modified Uranagi for the win. So Charlie Sterling will be going to the finals to fight Charles Crowley, but afterwards, Bullet gets on the mic post-match. He apologized, but he warned Trevay he was going to do this over and over again. Bullet demanded a blood debt match, said, "I told you I'm coming for all of it." I think this is going to be fun. Trevay gets back up, continues to brawl. Nobody knows what a blood debt match is, but it's coming. Now, again, Sterling now has 2 tainted wins in a row, Feet on the Ropes versus Leo, and then a Bullet Interference versus Trevay. Alrighty, so next up, we get into a moment with the Session Moth family, which they talk about everything. Before getting into our Progress Atlas Championship match, where Gene Money defends open challenges it, faces against Jerry Bakewell, our normal MC for these Progress shows. This was fun and hilarious. This is so much fun. Gene Money retains the Progress Atlas Championship via Lazy Lariat, 1241. Koga challenges Gene Money for the title, and Undertaker's music played. It's hilarious. This is going to be fun. I am looking for. I'm looking forward to the Gene Money and Koga match. That should be fun. Match number 6 is the tag team match with our eliminated participants. We have the Experience, which is LA Taylor and Sky Smithson taking on Holly Barlow and Stephanie Mays. This was a fun match. The Experience reinforced as a credible tag team here, sets up potential Progress tag title contender path down the line. Who knows? Moving on. Match 7, 4-way match. Leo Rush versus Elijah Blum versus Peter Tiania versus Simon Miller. This was so much fun. The crowd loved Leo's dark character, the Blackheart character. Leo Rush wins via Blue Thunderbomb. I think Simon Miller's spear on Leo was a big moment for the show. How his character flips traditional baby face and heel dynamics. This was just a fun one. Alrighty, here we go. Main event time. Well, main event number 1, men's tournament final. Charles Crowley versus Charlie Sterling. Charles Crowley wins with the spinning slam. This was crazy, but I was so mad at production because the picture froze during the finishing sequence, and I'm so upset. But I am so happy that Charles Crowley wins. He wins his home promotion's biggest tournament. Pure feel good moment with home court hero overcoming injury and a vicious heel. So then at this point, Alexis Falcon joins commentary where we get our second main event of the night. Women's tournament final, Rio versus Giselle Shaw. Rio, oh my God, wins with the package pile driver and is the inaugural Women's Super Strong Style 16 tournament. This was such a good match. This was my match of the night. It was so good. Post-match, though, Alexis Falcon stood upon the stage, held up the women's title. Clearly visual challenge for Rio. Then multiple women from the back rushed past Falcon to jump in the ring and celebrate with Rio. I loved it. I love the visual for this. Falcon by herself on the stage while the locker room embraced Rio. The crowd chanted women's wrestling while pounding on the mat. Rio said a few comments to close the show. Again, this was my match of the night. Alrighty. So that is it. This is crazy. So now that is the end of Super Strong Style 16. I feel like that the matches themselves are fantastic. I was introduced to really some fun talent, but gosh dang it, Progress, these production issues need to get it together because it's like we're slowly going down. I will still watch you and love you, but we gotta fix production, y'all. But anywho, next up is going to be chapter 195, which is going to be Wonder Brawl 2, which again is featuring the Young Guns defending their titles. And Ricky Sosa will be competing there as well. Then we'll be moving on to chapter 196, which is Scorchio, which is on July 26th. And then we are wrapping up summer with chapter 197, Ballroom Blitz. So very interested to see where we get Charles Crowley versus Cara Noir and where Alexis Falcon versus Rio is going to happen. But that is going to be it for me here tonight. Thank you so much for watching me speed run through 2 days of matches. Good God, there was a lot to cover here. Again, there was so many matches. I enjoyed Super Strong Style 16, and I'm looking forward to next year's. Tomorrow night is our TNA post show, which we will be here to talk about some TNA wrestling. But that is going to be it for me tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in. For all of us here at BC WrestlePod, remember, take care of yourself, love one another, stay iconic, and more importantly than anything, you always deserve to finish your story. We'll see you tomorrow. But until then, sayonara, adios, and until next time, peace.